We are live in effect. Ain't been live in a while. Let's see what it do. Just wanted to get something off my chest, people. And let me see where I'm at. All right, testing 1, 2. Let me see if my tablet is picking this up. What's up, kinfolk? All right, all right, all right. It's working. All right, something's off. Let me get my sound together. Hold on. I'm going to be with you real quick. Like, what's up, Thurman Smart? All right, something's off. Let me get my sound together. Hold on, y'all. Let me reshare my screen. I see I haven't been on here in a while, so they got some new features on here. So let me refresh so I can share my my screen properly. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Trevor and Trayvon, what's happening, man? Soda, Logic 1, Armchair Philosopher, always in the house. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this shit together. How do I stop sharing my screen and reshare it? Hold on, y'all. We're going to get this shit together. All right, I think I done it. I think I done it. I think I done it. Hold on. If you can hear the music clearly, put a number 1 in the chat so I can know all my system and audio's operating properly. A minute and a half, we about to begin. Give me a minute and a half. Hey, Kenny. right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Let's get with it. What's up, Thurman Smart? I'm back in the building. Markel Maxwell, my girl Carrie, Donnie C. Williams, Old Soda, Trayvon Thurman, Logic, Armchair Philosopher. I can't pronounce the other name. But yeah, I have not been live in a long time. My father had passed away maybe about 3.5 months ago. So I just been kind of laying low, rethinking life, right? Getting myself together. I took my state of California notary exam and found out I passed last week and got a new career. So I just been rearranging a few things and focusing and listening and paying attention though, right? So lately, let's get to it. I don't want to be here all day. Thank you, Donnie. I don't want to be here all day, but I seen it's a kerfuffle in the community and some disagreements, right? And some confusion, and people are pitting Tariq against Professor Smalls and all this old bullshit. Professor Smalls has no beef with Tariq or anybody else. So a lot of it is a lot of exaggeration. But you have people in the so-called conscious community, for lack of a better word, who's stirring up drama and unnecessary beefs. Right? So the title I have is Tariq, excuse me, hold on, versus Professor Smalls. Then I have FBA and Pan-Africanism, the truth about both. Now, Trayvon, you said you couldn't find my Facebook page. Yeah, thanks, bro. Anybody can put in I had two Facebook pages for over 10 years. They had 5,000 subscribers each and 10,000 followers each. And both them pages got terminated maybe about 5 months ago. So a lot of people's wondering what happened to Chief X. All you got to do is put Chief X in the search bar and you'll see my new page. The name is Xavier Shelton, and the nickname on there is Chief X. But if you just put Xavier Shelton or Chief X in the search bar, bam, there go Chief X again. Okay? I'm easily found. Just put me in the search bar. I ain't went nowhere. But I'm sick to this day that my two pages got terminated. I can't get them back. All the photos, the videos, and posts and shit. Oh, I'm so sick about it to this day. But it might have been for the best. I might have need to revamp and restart shit, right? So the title, Tariq versus Professor Smalls, FBA and Pan-Africanism, the truth about both. First of all, let's get a few things straight and clear. Let me lay my premise. My premise is Pan-Africanism is dead, and Pan-Africanism died in the late 60s. People are pissed off when I say this, but I'm going to prove my point. It's dead and a waste of time, and it's just a cute sentiment that people parrot. It's just a cute phrase that sounds good, but it's not in practice in reality. We're going to build on this, and we're not going to be here that long. Also, I have FBA in the title. And today on Facebook, ironically, before people made videos today and all this old shit, I said Pan-Africanism is dead. You go to Chief X Facebook page and see. And I said FBA equals Tariq Nasheed is your leader. If you're parroting the words and the letters FBA, which stands for Foundational Black Americans, and you're using that term, Tariq Nasheed is your leader. Period. Tariq Nasheed coined the phrase, And you're parroting a phrase that Tariq Nasheed coined in his devilish ways, and we're going to clear that up. So you guys are parroting a phrase coined by a known grifter. A person who intentionally and purposely, not by mistake, or not this is his opinion, he knows better because Tariq Nasheed watches every single video I do. He fears to call my name because people will come see. We've debated several times on Facebook, and Tariq Nasheed knows not to come fucking with me or he'll get embarrassed. I've exposed all his videos on all his history videos as pseudo-history. And he knows better. So he's been corrected, he just refuses to change. So when you guys are parroting FBA, you're parroting a phrase coined by a grifter who's intentionally miseducating black folk and who intentionally stole the intellectual property of ADOS founders. But since black folk worship rappers and entertainers and hate, absolute hate, black intellectuals, they shunned ADOS, which was formed by a full-blown credentialed attorney and another lady with a degree in political science who worked on Capitol Hill. A lady who was in politics and worked on Capitol Hill, Yvette Carnell, and a man who's a full-blown lawyer who got his degree from UCLA. Two professionals, two intellectuals who understand both sides of the fences, and you guys shun them for a motherfucking rapper and a grifter named Tariq Nasheed, and you guys said, fuck ADOS. We rather gravitate to the grifter in the terms FBA. That's what you did. Because you don't fuck with intellectuals and professionals. The conscious community has a history of always removing the credentialed people out the way so they can get to you and take your motherfucking money. And you can spend money on them. So all the herbalists, Dr. Sabi, Yada, Brother Polite, Dr. Layla Africa, all these grifters, Phil Valentine, Queen Afua, all these people claim they can heal and cure everything. They're herbalists, but they're not even really herbalists because they have no credentials in being an herbalist. This is how sad it is. They said, get these motherfucking virologists out of here. Get these nutritionists out of here who have degrees. Get these dietitians out of here who have degrees. Get all these professionals and credentialed people out the fucking way so we can grift you gullible niggas and you can believe us. Therefore, I can sell you some shit and tell you I can cure cancer. I can cure fucking lupus. I can do this. I can heal the sick, the blind, the afflicted, the deaf and dumb. I can do all this shit. And you're going to believe me because I'm going to throw a little humor in it. And you're going to laugh and giggle and think I'm telling the real truth. So you guys gravitated to charlatans instead of professionals. Did not one professional, did not one credentialed person tell you to become a vegan? Herbalist did. Not one dietitian, nutritionist, or nutritionist or MD will tell you to be a vegan or they can cure or heal shit at all. Not one professional MD, nutritionist, or dietitian ever in history told you they can cure cancer, told you they can cure lupus, told you they can cure autism. But Dr. Sebi got a pill for autism, and you believed him. Nope. All the herbalists lied to you. All the doctors told you the truth. They told you there's simply no cure. They said we can treat your symptoms. We can treat your pain, which is true, but there's no cure for cancer. There's no cure for lupus. They told you the truth, but what did you do? Since you hate the white man, since you hate intellectuals, since you're paranoid, and paranoia is a form of mental health issues. Since all this built up in your head, you said, fuck these professionals. Dr. Sebi is telling me the truth. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Tariq Nasheed rapping, pimping, and here you is in his face. Yeah, FBA Tariq. We don't care if you stole ADOS intellectual property and acted like you was down. You said FBA. We like rappers. Fuck them professionals. This is what happened. So the vast majority of y'all run your goddamn mouth saying FBA instead of ADOS. FBA is not a lineage. You niggas is black Americans. You niggas is African Americans. FBA ideology has changed and morphed from day one when it was originally for a term used for reparations. Now y'all just using it haphazardly for any motherfucking thing as if it's some lineage. And you gravitating to your leader, Tariq Nasheed, and he's bashing immigrants. And here y'all is, tether. He's a tether, a tether, a tether. All you motherfucking tether. You guys copy Tariq Nasheed word for word. He's your motherfucking leader. Let's keep this shit real. Why would a man like me with great common sense, listening comprehension, reading comprehension, I consider myself a wise man, why would I copy and follow a fucking grifter who's miseducating black people intentionally? Ask yourself, why do you do that dumb shit? Where have you gone wrong? You preferred entertainment over intellectualism. You're so mad at the white man that you spite yourself to line up with grifters. Yeah, I said intentionally. Trust me. I'm not sure if you're here at the beginning, but if anybody wasn't here at the beginning of this, just rewind this motherfucker because you missed a lot of shit. Tariq Nasheed has been proven over and over and has been corrected over and over and shown the documents and proof by me and many others. He's seen, oh, Chief X showed that I was wrong. But he says, fuck that shit been wrong, nigga. I set this shit down. I have an agenda. I want these niggas to follow it. Tariq Nasheed is teaching everybody that black folk was here already. And you weren't. I say this all the time and it pisses people off, and no one has proven me wrong otherwise. There have never been any black or Negroid people in the entire, not just America, in the entire Western Hemisphere prior to 1492 and or the slave trade. Now, let me get to what I'm talking about because I didn't went off on a. Y'all see the X on her hat? Chief X, but the X is for what? Xavier. Xavier is my middle name. It's a name I go by. Right? So look here. I also have Professor Smalls in here in the title. I respect Professor Smalls a little more. Professor Smalls in 2025, maybe not in his heyday, but in 2025, Professor Smalls is also a grifter who tries to tap your racial emotions and spew a bunch of racist nonsense. And he agrees with Tariq Nasheed that black folk was in America's first. Professor Smalls teaches that the Olmecs were black folk. I'm sorry, he does. Professor Smalls teaches that the ancient Egyptians were Negroid and black folk. He teaches all that pseudo history that Tariq Nasheed teaches. This is a fucking fact. Both Tariq Nasheed and Professor Smalls teaches black folk pseudo history on purpose, not just because, or that's his opinion. They both need to be done with, but I have respect for Professor Smalls because initially he started off with good intent. But a lot of the elders, you have to understand, every single 100% of the elders alive today intentionally teach pseudo history and fake history, and or I call revised history, to make you feel better about your plight in life and who you are and where you came from. Professor Smalls in 2025, no matter if he put in work back in the day, and we're going to talk about putting in work and how about helping people. People always spew this shit. I'm putting in work. I'm helping black folk. We're going to talk about what the fuck real work is. What's up, King Danny? We're going to talk about all this, and it's not going to take no longer than an hour. Hold on. What my... So, before I got on here, I said, let me sip me a little whiskey. Let me have me a little bourbon so I can get to my zone. What's up, Squally? Check this out. The title says Pan-Africanism is dead. I was the first one with balls to ever say that in this so-called conscious community. Yes, I was on that CBD wave. I was on the Moringa wave. I used to think a whole bunch of pseudo bullshit that I've changed about, right? Because I mean well. When I learned different, I changed and stopped teaching the misinformation I was teaching prior, right? So the title says Pan-Africanism is dead. I'm telling you right now, Pan-Africanism died in the late 60s. It's been dead, and it is just a cute phrase and a cute sentiment in an ideology. It's not in practice and will never, ever, ever, ever be in practice ever again. It died. Why did it die, Chief X? Let me tell you why it died. Because when Pan-African, let me take a sip of my bourbon. Just to piss a few people off. What's up, squad? Why is it dead, Chief X? Let me give you some logic and some common sense science to why it's dead. Pan-Africanism jumped off in the 60s. Some may say earlier, but let's just, in general, let's just say the 60s. Uh-oh, hold on. I got a sweet potato pie in the oven. Let me turn the oven down. I burn that sucker. Now, why is it dead, Chief X? Because today is 2025. Listen to the logic. Listen to the common sense I'm about to lay down. Listen to the wisdom I'm about to imbue you with. Is that a word, imbue? I think it is. For instance, it's 2025. Politics is different. 50s, early 60s, and shit like that, you didn't really have your civil rights. You have your civil rights now. You have every right, every civil right any other decent human American has. No difference. You are equal unless you feel that you're less than. So when Pan-Africanism was in its heyday, it was to unite blacks in Africa, and the diaspora, to fight against injustices and rights of us. Now you have rights. What would be the purpose? You have civil rights. Things have changed. A lot of y'all have married white women. All y'all go to integrated schools. Your neighbors are white, Mexican, whatever. My white neighbor or my Mexican neighbor is not doing any better than I am. They have no more pull than I do. They have no more favoritism than I do. We're all on equal footing, fighting for our families, raising our kids, and minding our own business. There's no one that has any favor in 2025. Pan-Africanism is dead because the ideology of Pan-Africanism, when it jumped off, is different in 2025. Right? For instance, let's be honest. Barbados don't give a fuck about black Americans, and black Americans don't give a fuck about Barbados. Black Americans are not trying and never have been trying to connect with Barbadian people and network and jump off some shit. When? They didn't do it then, and they damn sure ain't doing it right now. It died. Jamaicans don't give a fuck about black Americans, and black Americans don't give a fuck about Jamaicans. These niggas is not networking and trying to start businesses together and do any of this Pan-African jargon unity talk you guys spew at all. They don't give a fuck about each other. Let's tell the motherfucking truth. Cuba don't give a shit about Jamaica, and Jamaica don't give a shit about Cuba. When are these niggas networking and getting together, having some Pan-African conferences and some leadership? Who is the leader of the Pan-African movement? Name this person. I'll wait. Who is the committee people of the Pan-African music? Name one. I'll wait. Name a group of 5 people who are in charge of the Pan-African movement or the Pan-African committee. You can't name one. I'll wait. There is no structure. There is no leadership. There is no organization. All you have is a bunch of niggas in black America parroting old shit, talking about let's unify, and ain't nobody made no steps to unify. Matter of fact, if we're being honest, 95% of black Americans ain't even never been to Africa. What is that? What are you talking about? Don't even want to rep being a West Central African. What are you talking about? I went to Ghana 5 years ago for my 50th birthday. I sat up in a repatriation meeting. Me, a few other people on the tour, and some Africans. We talking about repatriation. A brother, a chief, a Ghanaian chief, a village chief, literally gave acres and acres of land to any black American who want to repatriate and move there. I posted pictures on Facebook about it. I showed myself sitting in a repatriation meeting. When I came back, I was excited. I was talking to people. Nobody gave a fuck or even questioned me about the meeting or what was it about or anything. Niggas didn't give a fuck. Pan-Africanism been dead in the late 60s. I'm making my case. A lot of these niggas who talk this Pan-African shit ran their ass to motherfucking Egypt, North Africa. And North Africa ain't never, ever, 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 ever been black Africa. All these niggas went on tours and shit with Dr. Ben, Ashwa Kwesi, Jabari Osase in modern times. They gave all their fucking money, all their tourist money, all that money generated on plane fights and hotels and all that shit to motherfucking Arabs, Berbers, and North Africans and said, fuck West Central Africa. Pan-Africanism been dead. Let's stop playing. They didn't give none of those tourist dollars to Ghana and Nigeria. When I was in Ghana and I'm spending my money and buying clothing and supporting a lot of these people, all that money over all these decades went to motherfucking Arab Republic of Egypt. Tell me when I'm lying. When has Mali and Ethiopia got together and bonded and said, let's do some Pan-African shit and unite? Sub-Saharan Africa ain't uniting. Black Americans in the Caribbean ain't uniting. What are you talking about? Pan-Africanism been dead. When has South Africans, or the black sets in South Africans, got together with Cuba? When has the Dominican Republic got together with black Americans and said, let's do some Pan-Africanism shit? Never. They don't give a fuck about each other. When has the Congo got together with anybody in the Caribbean and said, let's work together and unite and do some shit together? When was this? Please tell me. I must have missed this on my 55 years on Earth. There's no committee, no group, no organization. None of these countries in the Caribbean, none of these people in South America, Black America, nobody's united with Africa. Niggas don't even want to go to Africa. Stop talking that shit. Brother asked me, Chief Edge question, would you like that to be a thing? I used to think it can be a thing, but now I no longer think it can be a thing. Let me tell you why. Because I believe truly that everybody is an individual with different thought processes and different ideologies. I'm not a racist. I used to be on this racist bullshit a lot of these black power niggas be on. That RBG, black power, I used to parrot all that old dumb shit. Now I say the real thing is about black empowerment. If I say black empowerment, I'm not including any racist connotations. But when I say black power, I'm kind of being racist because we would get mad at somebody who said white power. You would consider them racist. So how are you open to say black power, but they not open to say white power? Either side would be racist. So I'm about black empowerment. I'm not racist. So although I would like it to be a thing that people unite and all of us can empower each other and trade and do business. I mean, when I went to Africa, I met people because I wanted to buy my moringa from Africa. I used to sell moringa. I still sell moringa. Initially, I was getting my moringa from Ethiopia and this brother in Senegal. It was a wife and husband in Senegal who would ship me a box of moringa. I had this huge ass box for dirt cheap. Basically, I'm just paying for shipping. I was doing international business with Western Central Africa, and niggas in the United States was talking that shit. I said, I'm doing this shit in real time. But listen to these other niggas who's trying to clown me, and you the fake niggas. I'm the real one. So I was doing international business, buying my moringa from there instead of from these white people online. If everybody did that, then we would have some bridges built with West African and doing trade and business. But nobody gives a fuck. Ask any of these wannabe Afrocentrics and Pan-African cats, are they doing any business in sub-Saharan Africa? Nope. I would like it to be a thing, but I understand it's 2025, and I'm not trying to link up and unify with a bunch of black racists. We different thinking. My son has a different agenda than another nigga's son who's in New York talking shit. My son got his own friends. He played football, college football, graduated, got his degree, got a job. He got a whole bunch of white friends, a whole bunch of Mexican friends on his football team. It's multicultural, and they're a team and a band of brothers bonding together doing their motherfucking thing. My son's agenda would be different than if Tariq Nasheed had a son and his agenda. They on two totally different agendas. It will never unify and unite. Ain't none of this shit real. It's all talk. I'm a black American. I'm an American. I just say black as a description of what type of American. We're all Americans trying to find the American way. Like, I even get on people for saying Afrocentric. Like when somebody says you have a Eurocentric mentality, that makes no motherfucking sense. Only racist black folks say that to shame black Americans who may have a different opinion or think differently than them. They say you have a Eurocentric point of view. Whenever someone says that to you, that means they're a rabid racist. And they're trying to shame you for having a different point of view. Matter of fact, it's impossible for a black American, white American, a Mexican American, or any of us to have a Eurocentric point of view if we never lived in Europe. My worldview is from right here where I'm at in Los Angeles, next to Compton and next to Inglewood. I have an Inglewood, Compton, American worldview because that's where I was born and raised. So I see the world from that viewpoint. You dig? So a lot of this should be wordplay that you guys buy into and don't realize you're just saying some dumb shit. How could a person in Kenya, a Kenyan, have a European worldview if he's only lived in Kenya and his worldview is only from Kenya? Even if somebody say, oh, you think like white folk. Well, you think like an American. A Ghanaian cannot have a Kenyan worldview or a Kenyan point of view. He has a Ghanaian point of view. Ghana's its own country. Kenya's its own country. America's its own country. Everybody has a worldview from where their own country is where they was born and raised from. Teacher said, straight out of Compton. Nigga, I grew up on NWA. Funk. Bootsy Collins, nigga. Parliament, nigga. Funkadelic, nigga. That's my worldview. That's not a European. That shit wasn't jumping off on there. In other words, Kenyan history is Kenyan history. Kenyan history has nothing to do with Ghanaian history. Every country has their own history. Everyone has their own worldview from their own country. So this European worldview shit, when somebody tells you you have a Eurocentric, these are racist niggas trying to shame you for having an opinion. So because I want to be scientifically literate, does that mean I have a Eurocentric worldview? Think about it. Is if I did have, just say for instance, I did have a Eurocentric worldview, does that mean it's something wrong? Like, oh, you got a Eurocentric worldview. They're trying to say you have a wrong worldview. Well, what is wrong with STEM, science and technology, and advancements in vaccines and antibiotics? What's wrong with that? Let's talk. Everybody in every country is worldview is different than anybody else's. Samoans on the island of Samoa cannot have a Eurocentric or an African worldview because they're from fucking Samoa. Do you, so I'm just making plenty of examples so you guys can kind of get the examples I'm making, right? Now, we don't think about this deeply until some wise man bring it to your attention and say, you know what, damn, I didn't think about it like that. Yes, Rasta priest, you are totally correct with that because that has to do with regions, right? Western Central African is a region. Just like North Africa, West Asia, and Egypt and all that is a region. They call it the MENA region. Middle Eastern North Africa, MENA region. Sub-Saharan Africans are not part of the MENA region. We have a different culture and a different outlook on life. East Africa, or let's just say this, the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia, Somalia, Eritrea, they are totally different than Western Central Africa. That's their region, and they look different in that region. They have different customs and culture in that region than what Ghana and Nigeria has in West Africa. These are different regions. The Horn of Africa is a different region than MENA, Middle East and North Africa region, or Mediterranean basin, or Mediterranean cultures. No, Christ, thank you, bro. Salute. Appreciate you. Fam, I'm going to tell you right now, if Somalia and Ethiopia took a genetic test, a DNA test, they would have similar genetics. Although they have beef in ward over time, like Eritrea and Ethiopia ward over time, Eritreans and Ethiopians are basically the same stock genetically. It's like Samoans and Tongans on the island of Samoa and Tongan have wars for centuries and beef with each other. But they are of the same genetics and the same stock, really. They just have political differences, right? All right. So I broke down why Pan Africanism is dead. I broke down all these countries in the diaspora who don't give a fuck about each other and are not networking. You guys have to admit this. If you don't admit this, you've just been in denial, trying to hold on to some old shit and parrot some old shit Afrocentrics and pro-black niggas said. Now, I told you I would talk a little about before we end this shit. But and I broke down FBA, and if you're saying FBA, Tariq Nasheed is your leader. He coined the phrase. He's a grifter, and you guys are parroting a phrase coined by a grifter. I told you why you do it, because you hate intellectuals and professionals, and you prefer rappers and entertainers. So you graduated to FBA instead of ADOS. It is what it is. I can break that down, but we'll be here all fucking night. Okay? Now, I heard, let me just play this clip real quick. Let me share my screen. And when this guy said this on Dr. Maya's show today, and I said this earlier today, I 100% agreed with him. And let me tell you why. Listen.
So bad. And what I'm saying is that FBA is just a lineage, and you believe it is. I mean, it makes we can have the social scientific argument all day, but it is not that. It is an ideology that has been created by Tariq Nasheed, which morphs and evolves every moment. Tariq Nasheed, which morphs and evolves every moment. It is an ideology that has been created by Tariq Nasheed, which morphs and evolves every moment.
This is what I mean when he said it morphs and evolves every moment. Initially, FBA jumped off for a term to represent for a reparations movement. The same way ADOS is a term for a reparations movement, not our lineage or something we're labeled in general. It has a specific purpose, and it's for a reparations advocacy movement. Listen to my wording. ADOS and FBA was initially coined to represent an reparations advocacy movement. Not your lineage is something we should be called from now on. It's changed now because a bunch of fuck niggas have got into it. Okay? We are Black Americans and or African Americans. I'm comfortable with either one. That should not change. Anybody implementing anything else is on some fuck shit. Period. Knock it off and stop getting influenced by these fucking idiots out here. Let's go.
It's ideology that has been created by Tariq Nasheed, which morphs and evolves every moment. And people are drunk by it. And I'm not coming here to beat up on my brothers and sisters.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
And people are drunk by it. And I'm not every moment. And people are drunk by it. And I'm not coming here to beat up on my brothers and sisters. All I am saying is we got a lot of healing to do. Because the dear elder sat here and poured out his heart.
Only to be attacked in the chat. And I saw it.
Now, just for clarification, if you didn't watch this video on Dr. Maya's channel, they had interviewed Professor Smalls. And I had watched it. But these people on this panel don't vibe with Tariq Nasheed. They do vibe with Tariq Nasheed, but although they know Tariq Nasheed is a little off base today. Hold on, y'all. What's up, Shantae? Can you hear me? Hey, if you text me, I don't know because I'm on a live stream. I'm on a live stream right now, sweetheart. Okay, but as soon as I get this live stream, I'm going to call you back, sweetie. All right. All right. So They love Professor Smalls, but they just understand he may be a little outdated for 2025, and they understand Tariq Nasheed agrees with a lot of pseudo history. So they was trying to give Professor Smalls respect, but Tariq Nasheed, we don't fuck with him.
Yeah, I saw it. And Doc, it was sickening. It's sickening. Go ahead.
And I'm with Unc. Like, I'm more of a Kamayu warrior. I'm quiet, believe it or not. I'm quiet. But look, hands off.
Yeah,
look,
hands off, Professor
get your
Smalls.
mind right. I mean, some of these brothers and sisters I know, and I understand hurt and trauma when I see it. You are so upset. You are so upset at this white man. You are so upset at the oppressive system that you don't know what to do. So now you have to turn on your own people. You have to turn on people that you believe that you have more strength than, and you don't. Because somewhere along the line, you are imploding inside. It is indicative of the hurt and pain and anger you have inside of you. And I feel for you. Because the things you're saying out of your mouth, if you want to psychoanalyze it, it tells you the hurt and pain. And your leader who speaks for you, I get it. Your leader, you can deny leader because he said he's not a leader. I'm sorry. The problem is, at least you can't argue he's a thought leader for the very frame that you call FBA.
And I keep telling you people this shit. If you're saying FBA, Tariq Nasheed is your leader.
I personally, he's sorry. The problem is, at least you can't argue he's a thought leader for the very frame that you call FBA. And I personally would never, ever, ever. I mean, maybe I've even considered and rolled around in my mind FBA, but I would not call myself an FBA, at least not at this time, with all that ideological underpinnings of Nasheedism. And Nasheed, I feel for him too. He's my brother, but he's sick.
I don't practice no Nasheedism. Most of y'all do.
And Nasheed, I feel for him too. He's my brother, but he's sick. And his sickness is being carried out in every troll in this chat. And they said, what some people say, where did they get it from? You get it from him because I can't even listen to the brother. But someone sent me a video the other day, and I watched the video, and I heard where they get their idiotic talking points from. I hear where they get their misinformation from.
They get it all from Tariq.
But I understand that we need somebody to represent us that we say is not the leader. We even like that because we've been so hurt we don't want leadership. We've been so hurt we don't need no leader because we've been so hurt that look. Anyway, I'm going to just stop there, Doc. But what I want to say is, as a person who really studies our mental health, and Doc, we're going to be talking to you and hopefully get Brother Unc to jump on the plane because we're going to be doing a series of panel discussions and workshops talking about the state of the black mind because this is evident. The black mind, I think somewhere along the line, Brother Unc and Dr. Mayat, that we believe we started gaining traction in our conscious circles, and people started to love themselves more.
They got like 45 more seconds. Hold on, y'all.
But FBA, as it relates to the tenets that I see a lot of them endorsing and the behaviors that they carry out as a result, need healing. Our community needs healing. And we got to get back to this black is beautiful, black, all that black talk. Because I'm talking about African black. Because you can be Indian, white, Eskimo, whatever you want to be, but you don't want to be African.
Ashe.
All right. So he was himself saying the same thing. It sounds like the brother been listening to me. It sounds like he been listening to me because I've never heard nobody spew them talking points except me. He been listening to me. Now, I don't want to throw a shot at them people who was on the panel because I'm on my own thing. But later on in the video, they continued to talk about identity crisis. How Black Americans have this identity crisis. And they're correct, right? Like Black Americans has the worst, absolute worst identity crisis than any ethnic group of people in the entire world on planet Earth. Because we're the only one in this certain position who was uprooted and enslaved and didn't get to, we have a serious idea. Everybody else knows who they are and where they come from and embrace their culture, except African Americans. And we have identity crisis, right? So I was making a point and I forgot my point. Hold on. Oh my God, it was a good point too. What was I saying, y'all? Oh, I know what I was saying. They spilled after that spew. They was talking about about these identity crises in people, and I sat back and said it's ironic that one guy at the bottom is named Brother Ankh. The other guy that was just speaking, his name is Dr. Asar, and that's Dr. Mayat. Talk about identity crisis. Dr. Asar, Brother Ankh, and Dr. Mayat. MENA region god names. North African and West Asian god names. Nothing to do with West and Central Africa. We're all over the motherfucking place. It's crazy. How can you bash people for identity crisis and your name is Dr. Asar? It's crazy. Anyway, so I'm almost done here, right? Oh, I know what I was going to touch on before we go out of here. I said I was just going to be an hour. We're at 58 minutes, right? Wait a minute, and we're going to be out of here. I got my girl Carrie. What's up, Carrie? Now, they don't want to debate me, bro. Listen here. This is what I want to say before we end this. Now, if I'm wrong, and you're saying the Dominican Republic cares about black folk and they network with black folk, show me proof. If you're saying Cuba is networking with Ghana, show me proof. If you said Nigeria and Mali and Barbados and Jamaica are networking and practicing Pan-Africanism and having meetings about Pan-Africanism, then let me know and prove me wrong. I doubt you can. Therefore, Pan-Africanism is dead. Now, I was listening to Professor Smalls, and I've listened to all these Afrocentrics and pro-blacks run their goddamn mouth. Talking about I'm putting in work and we putting in work and I went in and we helped here and we done all this and helped. Stop it. All that shit is cap and a grift to get you emotionally charged, and these niggas make it seem like they doing something. They're not doing a motherfucking thing. I watched niggas in New York on 125th Street for over a decade run around with bullhorns in the street talking about black power on the bullhorn. The white man did this on the bullhorn, running their mouth, charging you guys up emotionally. Yeah, you guys are getting charged up because the niggas on a bullhorn talking about black power. That's not work, family. That's not teaching, family. That's not putting in work, family. So all these niggas talking about putting in work and helping and teaching ain't doing a motherfucking thing in reality. Prove this shit, Chief X. Okay. Now, I know people who putting in work. I remember one time I was on Facebook and I said sororities and fraternities are putting in work in black communities and in the community and helping out. And I began to show they was doing different drives and doing different things and educational awareness. And I said the conscious community really needs to be like sororities are. Then maybe I can say you putting in some work in reality in real time, right? But people are calling putting in work talking shit. Because I say, oh, they fucked up Trayvon Martin and killed Trayvon Martin. That don't mean I'm putting in work. Niggas is pontificating, running their mouth, and people say, yeah, he putting in work. Yeah, he down, he bout it. I watched I watched Professor Smalls today say he putting in work and this and this and that, and said the cracker and called the white boy the cracker. I said, Professor Smalls racist in 2025. Now, I'm not linking up and unifying with racists. Niggas haven't changed. I said, Professor Smalls says that to emotionally charge you and make you think he bout that real shit and he's down with black folk by bashing white folk and being racist and calling them the cracker. Therefore, he called them a cracker. Therefore, you think he's down. So you guys are not really listening and paying attention and understanding what help is. Now, nobody listening to me right now is oppressed or held back. You guys never went through any of that. Stop the cap. My girlfriend, who was an assistant principal at a high school, she's an administrator now. When I watch her get on that motherfucking podium during graduation and talk to these Mexican and black students over here in the hood and give them inspiration, she get on the mic with her robe and her regalia on, talking to all these students. I said, she's been putting in work all year. When my girlfriend, who's an assistant principal, is dealing with all these black parents and these Mexican parents and all these gangbangers parents and all these brown pride parents in the motherfucking hood in Compton in South Central LA, and she's dealing with all these parents and these badass kids and telling them what you should do and getting educational curriculums together for these kids and speaking to these parents and giving them game, she's putting in work. These pro-black niggas ain't doing that. These niggas on a bullhorn talking about black power. That's not work or help. That's called stoking racial flames. It's a difference. When I was a youth counselor for a decade, working at group homes, the lowest thing you can do in social services. And I'm working with all these badass black boys and Mexican boys at group homes. And I'm talking to their parents and shit. And we counseling and talking and taking them on educational tours and taking them on little vacations and doing things and putting in work with the despised, the rejected, and kids with no parents and giving them life and information. I'm putting in work. So I laugh when y'all say you putting in work. That ain't work to me. When I used to volunteer for Los Angeles County Probation Department and used to help co-facilitate teen parenting class. This is for kids who was on formal probation who had kids. I'm talking about 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids who had babies and giving birth to children. And I'm co-facilitating teen parenting class for the probation department and giving these kids game. That's putting in work. When I recovered from drug and became a GSR, which stands for Group Service Representative, and I go back and give life and encouragement and give a speech at an NA or an AA meeting to people in drug programs who fell off and got it hard in life and trying to recover and get their life together, when I go speak for 45 minutes to these people and give them life and hope, I'm putting in work. I don't know none of these niggas in the Afrocentric community who's done that. But they call it putting in work and help. You niggas don't know real workers. When I worked at trying to think of the name. Vista Del Mar Child and Family Services on a level 14 treatment facility with boys who are too bad to be in group homes and foster care because they'll break the goddamn windows out, whoop staff ass and all that. So these badass niggas can't be in foster care and group homes. You got to put them in treatment facilities, lockdown treatment facilities, where they have to be with staff 24/7. Giving meds and all this old shit. And I'm in meetings with marriage and family therapist counselors, other counselors, and we getting together and putting together treatment programs for these badass kids. We putting in work. And I'm going to end it with this. I hear all these people, I went to Africa. Yeah, we putting in work, and I got this hotel in Africa and all this old shit. Niggas is grifting. Let me show you some real work. Let me show you some real work. So, I was like saying, all these Afrocentrics and shit talking this old bullshit that they put in work in Africa. I know a whole bunch of white boys that put in 10 times more work in Africa than you have, that care more about Africa than you have, and you ain't done no goddamn social work in Africa. Niggas talking about they help excavating tombs in Egypt and shit. Lying their ass off. This is what you mean by putting in work in the diaspora. Tell me when black folk or any Afrocentric done work like this. Let's go.
100 wells we're gonna build in this video. Oh, water! Oh, crap! You just witnessed a small village in Kenya get access to unlimited clean drinking water in less than a second. One down, 99.
Pause! Did you tell these white boys, thank you for providing clean water to all these sub-Saharan Africans? I'm not sure which state, but this goes on damn near in all these sub-Saharan African countries. They provide access to clean water and helping out and shit. Did any Afrocentrics participate in any of this? What more can be helpful in putting in work than providing food, shelter, and clothing and clean water? Let's go.
5 more wells in Africa to go. You're gonna want. You just witnessed a small village in Kenya get access to unlimited clean drinking water in less than a second. One down, 99 more wells in Africa to go. You're gonna want this video. Combined, these 100 wells are gonna give around 500,000 people fresh water to drink. And after...
Did you thank these white boys and these white folk for doing that shit? Or did you call them white supremacists and racists? When did any Afrocentric show you a video of white folk providing clean water and say, thank you, white boy? You hate white folk so much who help you, you can't even keep it fucking real. It's not an Afrocentric on a planet that put in more work in sub-Saharan Africa than white boys. I know this hurts, but I'm showing you primary fucking evidence.
Building some more wells on this side of Kenya, we flew south to the school system of Nairiri. And let's just say, they were really happy to see us. How's it going? It's not expecting
all these Kenyans and all these babies is happy to see these white boys. But you mad at them. Think about that.
Thank you for the welcome.
What the sign say? We love you. Thank you. When have you black ass niggas showed some gratitude for the help white boys done in Africa? Has Professor Smalls done anything close to this? Did he help navigate and help this and that and network with any of this? Did any Afrocentric help navigate or work with bringing clean water and providing water to anywhere in sub-Saharan Africa? Talk to me.
Thank you for the welcome. I'm not sure how to react. I appreciate it, everybody. This village threw a welcome ceremony upon our arrival, and Nolan got really into it. Nolan's the most awkward person I've ever met, and that's a lot.
They're thankful. What up, baby girl? What's up? I'm on a live stream. I'm going to call you afterwards. All right. One of my two women.
And after being shown around the school...
Here comes our guest.
How's it going? Oh, you having a good day? It's nice meeting you.
Kenyan kids and staff are excited. Tell me an Afrocentric who put in some real work. See these kids? These are the same kids in America I work with, the downtrodden, the despised, the rejected, the poor, the meek. These Afrocentrics ain't doing none of that shit but running off at the mouth a bunch of racist bullshit. Nigga, I'm a real one. Let's go.
One of the teachers showed me where the students currently get their water, which is from this river. That's extremely unsafe to drink. This is where your students used to get water from?
Yes.
This is crazy.
Yeah. You know, students complaining of diarrhea, infections like typhoid, because this is the water we've been using. So we try to treat, but you see, look at it, you know, but at the end of the day...
Pause! 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 Do you know how many lives they saved? Let alone getting them clean water. Do you know how many lives they saved from infectious disease and bacteria? Millions. I read an article that bringing vaccines to Africa saved polio vaccines. And why polio is eradicated is because white folk bought polio vaccine to Africa, therefore saving 2 million Africans from being paralyzed by polio. Did any Pan-African say thank you? Did any Afrocentric say thank you? Or they continue to bash white men for helping? Did they even tell you white folk helped Africa? No, they didn't. Chief S is going to be that real one.
Life has to move on. You have to get some water anyway.
This situation is obviously extremely sad. These children's lives are being limited and sometimes cut short from being forced to drink unsafe water. But at least for this village, we're gonna put an end to it right now. I don't think this John's gonna fit.
Who put an end to it? Did you guys go on your social media and say white folk put an end to this shit in Kenya? Did you do that? Nope. Because you hate white folk so much you don't want to give them no fucking credit. You hate white folk so much you don't want to give them credit for a motherfucking thing. And not one Afrocentric ever done anything more important than giving these people clean fucking water.
Let's see if we can find some water.
Who's excited here? Kenyans.
It is raining! It's beautiful!
After the water comes out of the ground, it's fed into enormous barrels like this one. And once they're built into the water towers, all of the neighboring villages will not only have clean drinking water, but a pressurized water source as well. Which, in short, means no more doing laundry and unsafe water.
And pull!
On a scale of 1 to Nolan's mom, how heavy is it?
Nolan's mom times 2!
Oh, God.
Dude, I'll push you off of it.
These ain't the feds. These ain't government workers, and this ain't no game and shit. These niggas really, these white boys is really trying to help. Now, granted, they'll get funded for helping, but so were niggas, but they didn't think about helping doing this shit.
Right, here we go. Under control.
We built 20 more wells in Kenya, and after we were done,
Bro has another well in.
don't worry, I have more water in my other shoe. And just so you know how we built these first 29 wells, we used this giant drill to dig hundreds of feet into the ground, past the polluted sources and into an enormous aqua.
Now, listen. I can go on and on and on the hard work these folk put in to give these folk life, but we're going to flip the script right now. Not only water,
So we're behind the library right
this is another white boy in another part of Africa.
now, drilling the borehole. Water is extremely important, and if you don't have it, you'll spend every waking moment looking for your next drop.
This happens all over sub-Saharan Africa, but not one nigga in Black America said thank you for helping my ancestors' land. Not one. They want you to believe that they just destroying Africa. They're trying to kill all these Africans and they don't give a fuck about these. That's not true.
Which is why behind me, we're drilling a hole 600 feet into the ground. So
Now, let's move on. I just wanted to share that with you. Now, you can find this shit primary evidence all over YouTube. Malawi. Water wells in Africa for Malawi. All this shit. Clean water projects. Water projects for life projects. In rural communities in Africa. Let's stop the cap. All right, here we go. Now, not only that, family.
Well, it's time for our health segment now, and we're joined by our In Focus health correspondent, Lenore Madu. Hi, Lenore.
Hello, Dimiaki.
Now, this is 15 years ago. This is before COVID even reared its head. These are Africans thankful for the vaccines white folk brought to Africa to save what? Millions of lives.
Some promising news on the vaccine front, right?
That's right. A new meningitis vaccine is prompting a new vaccination drive across West Africa. The vaccine provides protection for 10 years against the disease. Health workers in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger are preparing for countrywide.
Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, all these vaccines saved how many lives you think? You have no fucking idea. Millions of lives.
Vaccine campaigns set for December. The three countries just concluded a limited pilot phase. The meningococcal vaccine was developed by the Serum Institute of India under a partnership with the World Health Organization and the NGO PATH. Pneumococcal disease,
now,
is a leading.
Not only vaccines, let's get up off of that. But PubMed, a scientific site, factors associated with infant mortality rate in sub-Saharan Africa, Half of the 10 million children who die annually in the world are from sub-Saharan Africa. Listen to that. Let me say it again. Half of the 10 million children who die annually in the world are from sub-Saharan Africa. The reasons are known, but lack of will and resources avoid the development of sustainable policies. But anyway, they're talking about infant mortality rate, right? Now, just so you understand, we're talking about vaccines, and not only vaccines, but antibiotics. Do you know how many lives were saved just behind white folk getting antibiotics into sub-Saharan Africa to treat bacterial infections and extend human life expectancy? All you got to do is a basic research on how much antibiotics and or vaccines have saved millions, if not a billion lives in Africa, and not one Black America was thankful for that. Okay? Now, I was going to go in way more on these vaccines and like when I said the polio vaccine has saved 2 million people from being crippled, paralyzed from polio. Guess what, people? The polio is eradicated. And no one wants to give credit to vaccines. This is how much you guys have been brainwashed to be anti-vaxxers. You have no clue that 2 million people don't have polio because of vaccines. You have no clue. When I was a baby, let me tell you this. When I was a baby, me and my brother and siblings, I had chicken pox. Kids today aren't getting chicken pox, mumps, and measles. Guess why? Vaccines damn near eradicated it. Chicken pox was on a small comeback recently. You know why? Because of anti-vaxxers. That's why chickenpox came back on a comeback. And all these white moms was not allowing their children to be vaccinated. People trip on the COVID vaccine. That's a whole nother different type of vaccine than all the other 100 vaccines. Fuck COVID vaccine for a second. But when you talk about vaccines, you bash all vaccines and you lump them all together. And all these kids in 2025 don't have mumps, measles, rubella, and chickenpox because of vaccines. That saved all kind of lives. I had chickenpox because the vaccine for chickenpox was new when I was a little boy. I'm 55. You guys are lucky, and vaccines are the greatest innovation in medical history, bar none. Next thing is antibiotics and clean water. Nothing is greater than vaccines, antibiotics, and the ability to clean water. Those are the three greatest medical innovations in the world fucking history. If you didn't know that, do some fucking research. Carrie's a nurse, and she knows that. Without clean water, antibiotics, and vaccines, half you niggas would be dead or wouldn't have been born. Those three are the greatest interventions. Ain't nobody gave you this motherfucking game. Nobody in the conscious community gave you this game but Chief X. Now, I want to end with this. And we're going to end it with this. Check this out. Tariq Nasheed and Professor Smalls has been intentionally miseducating you guys, and they know better. They've been acting like we've been here in America all along. We're indigenous to the Americas. Them $5 Indians is fake. We the real ones. And I gave one logical thing to everybody to debunk it all. Nobody's using this because Chief X used that. I don't want to use that. This is the single most thing that debunks all that fucking rhetoric and pontification. Let me just tell you before I show you. In the Americas, specifically North America, they had schools called Indian boarding schools. Black folk wasn't in Indian boarding schools. They had their separate school, Freeman schools and other for black kids, because black kids spoke English. Indian boarding schools was to civilized indigenous people who didn't speak English and represented Native American tribes and culture and tradition. They wanted to change these people and make them more Americanized, put suits and clothing on them, cut their hair, and teach them English. Tell the truth, Chief. Now, what do you mean, Chief X? Prove that shit. Now, these are what you call Indian boarding schools. All these kids here, guess what? Oops. Let me go back. Let me make this smaller. I hate that this writing hit. I had a clear picture. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, there we go. All these kids in these pictures are kids of Indian boarding schools. And these kids were the indigenous people of America. To civilize them, they took them out of their Indian clothing and gear. You see, they have Americanized suits with collars, dresses and shit. They were to civilize these people, teach them English, and get them away from what they considered their savage ways. Do you see one Negroid or black person in this entire group of people? No, you don't. Why? Because Tariq Nasheed and Professor Smalls is wrong as fuck. There are no black Native American people. Black folk didn't come here into the slave trade. We were not here before. If we were here before, if you spoke a different indigenous language, your ass would be in these schools getting civilized by white folk and put in a collared suit or a dress just like these fucking kids. But guess what? You niggas spoke English and you were the slave master's kids and you came on a slave ship. Different because you weren't here. All you got to do is use an example of Indian boarding schools and it kills all fucking game. You ain't got to keep arguing with these niggas. So I'm the only one who used this angle. Now, prove your shit, Chief X. This is different. This is an actual real picture of a before and an after. When he was in his wild ways, according to them, and when they civilized him and put a suit and a collared shirt on his ass and put him in an Indian boarding school so he can learn English. They didn't do that with not one black folk in the history of mankind because you niggas wasn't indigenous to the Americas and they didn't need to do that. You had your own schools under the fucking slave master. Okay? They gave him a motherfucking haircut and cleaned their ass up and put them in boarding schools. Here are old fucking pictures of boarding school kids. And not one black person or Negroid is in them. Why? Because you niggas was not fucking here. You can't find a Negroid in any of these pictures. You can't find a Negroid on an indigenous football team in that day in a boarding school ever. Where's a Negroid? Just like you can't find not one Negroid in an uncontacted tribe in the Brazil Amazon. Everybody that came up out that Amazon that was an uncontacted tribe, not one of them had nappy hair or was black. They were all just like these people who populated the Western Hemisphere. Not one Negro or black folk in these Indian boarding schools. You niggas had separate schools. These are the Native Americans. Wasn't no black folk in the entire Western Hemisphere. Stop the cap. They even got this picture. It's a popular picture of a guy who was changed the before and after. Right? Photographs from Indian boarding schools, you fucking dipsticks. There's a whole catalog of photos from boarding school. The Sioux boys in boarding schools, not one black folk in these pictures. We can go on for days. Classroom at the Carlisle Indian School, not one nigga. Only Native American indigenous people with dresses and collared shirts on. We can go on and on. I got a shitload of these motherfucking pictures. I don't even want to waste your time, so I'm just clicking on about 3 or 4 of them. Group of Omaha boys in cadet uniforms at this Indian boarding school in Pennsylvania. Where the black boys at? They'll show pictures of you sitting on motherfucking raised porches. Never like this, because you wasn't of anything indigenous in the Western Hemisphere. These were the people they cut their hair and dressed them up, not you. Matter of fact, the site is called hanksville.org, and you can find a picture of everything back in the day. Graduating class in 1897. Dresses and collared shirts. You ain't in none of these pictures because you wasn't in no indigenous Native American boarding schools because your black ass spoke English already. Tri-State Indian School sports team. They didn't put you niggas and Native Americans together. You guys had separate schools called Freeman schools. 4 girls in Tri-State. Here are the Native Americans when they cleat their ass up and put them in sports. Where's the black folk at who had to learn English because they spoke an indigenous language? Find me one black man, one Negroid who spoke an indigenous language that they had to teach English to. You can't find one. I can go on and on and on with photos after photos after photos, and you guys are in none of them. Albuquerque Indian School. All over the USA were pictures of people in Indian schools. Indian schools. Indian schools. Indian schools. I don't have time to even show you them all. Look, here go one of these abo niggas just talking shit. Put a video together and send it to me and prove me wrong. Show me some primary pictures like I showed you primary pictures. Show me some black folk who spoke an indigenous language. You can't. Because wasn't no black folk, no Negroes was in. People trip. I'm not saying just the motherfucking Americas. They were not in the entire Western Hemisphere until 1492 and or the Atlantic slave trade. Tariq Nasheed knows this. Professor Smalls knows this. But they refuse to teach you the truth. Therefore, both of them are grifters. Both of them are intentionally lying and intentionally miseducating you. It is what it is. I got a plethora of 1,000 pictures of Native Americans before boarding schools. You can't find me no pictures of niggas on horses in their native indigenous gear unless there was a buffalo fucking soldier. Show me black folk in the wilderness of America in pictures taken in the 1800s of black folk on horses fucking with buffaloes and in teepees. You ain't never showed me no black folk in teepees fucking with buffalo in their indigenous regalia. Nope. You'll see them on a motherfucking porch on a motherfucking plantation with some hand-me-down clothing. That's it. Because you niggas came on a slave ship. Tariq Nasheed is going to watch this video. Trust and believe. Tariq Nasheed used to be my Facebook friend for a decade. Come on and off my post talking that shit and getting his ass intellectually slaughtered by the truth. So I know for a fact Tariq Nasheed grifting ass no better. I've proved it over and over and over. I'm not just here on YouTube. YouTube's niggas may not know me from social media. All these niggas is grifters, liars, and frauds. And I'm going to end this presentation. Tariq Nasheed and Professor Smalls, beef is bullshit. Smalls is not beefing with Tariq. Smalls hasn't said anything disparaging about Tariq. Let me clear this up also. All you ignorant niggas talking about Tariq's a Fed, he's an agent, all these. Ain't nobody no goddamn agent. First of all, to be an agent, like y'all like to say, he's an agent, stupid motherfuckers. A federal agent is an FBI employee who has a 4-year degree. So to be an FBI agent, you have to have a 4-year degree and be an employee with a paycheck from the FBI or the United States government. None of these niggas is agents. Now, if you said informant, I can see something like that. But you niggas is so fucked up and so brainwashed, you confuse and mix up fucking terms just to try to shame somebody. Oh, he's an agent. Oh, he's an agent. It's dumb talk. Anybody who say this person is an agent is on some fuck shit. An agent is an employee, an FBI agent. Now, you would better say they're informant, but they're not even that. Because the FBI, the feds, don't give a fuck about what none of you niggas is talking about on social media or on YouTube. They don't give a fuck about nothing I'm saying right now. I am no threat. They don't give a shit about what Professor Smalls is saying. They don't give a shit about what Tariq is saying. They don't give a fuck about none of that bullshit. They're not saying nothing, and none of them are a threat to any motherfucking thing. All they're doing is dumbing you down. None of these fucking idiots are agents. None of them are informants. And none of this shit the government give a shit about. The government know about history. Why would they give a fuck about you ignorant niggas lying on YouTube? They don't give a shit about none of you niggas. And none of you niggas are a threat. Do you understand? It's just niggas running their mouth and yapping and trying to shame you. That's it. I'm out.